Hey Guru Nation, how's it going? Quick video I wanted to do for you guys because I know the YouTube algorithm is gonna love this. I'm not doing it for the views, maybe just a little bit for the views, but I've actually done videos like this many times. I've interviewed CRAs. I've interviewed like, how did you get to become a CRA? Dozens of CRAs. There's hundreds of hours. I've been doing this channel for over 10 years now. It's hard to believe. So there are stories you can learn from other people's examples, kind of like reading a biography if you're trying to study history or business. You do the same thing with my channels with the other CRAs I've interviewed. I've also done things on how to break into the industry. I've done a definitive guide to how to break into the industry just recently. And so this video is going to be short and sweet, but it's going to be how to become a clinical research associate, how to become a CRA. And the way you become a CRA, there's two things you need initially, okay? You absolutely have to have a bachelor's degree. Now, it doesn't have to be a bachelor's of science, although that's preferred because this is a scientific industry. I know many CRAs that are bachelors of arts in just random things that have nothing to do with science. Of course, it's preferred if you have a bachelor's of science degree. So if you are in college and you are thinking between BA or BS and you're thinking CRA might be a career for you, you should consider Bachelor of Science. But it doesn't really matter if it's BA or BS. That's just the beginning. That's the basic that you need, basic educational requirement. International equivalents are also okay. Now, that doesn't mean you can't have a master's or more advanced degree. That's coming. That will help your career as well, but this is the floor. We're talking about the basic requirement you need. The next thing, and this is where people get stuck, this is where people give up. The next thing you need is experience. And experience is tough to get. This is why I did my definitive guide to how to break into the clinical research industry. Experience is tough to get. So you absolutely have to have experience of some sort in clinical research. This is why I think starting at the clinical research site level is the best way for you to eventually become a CRA, because it's very unlikely that you're going to get hired as a CRA with zero experience. There are some exceptions, like there are with everything in life. Some people have connections at CROs. Maybe they're small CROs, maybe they're small sponsors, where they're given, because they know that person, maybe they're a family member or a good friend, they're given the opportunity to learn and to train. Another exception are registered nurses. So BSN, registered nurse, these people are sometimes hired with no research experience directly as CRAs because they understand medical terminology, they understand medical conditions, they understand medications, they understand all the stuff that is important when you're a CRA. So if you're an oncology nurse, an oncology RN with zero research experience, you have a much better chance of becoming a CRA for oncology studies than you would someone with a bachelor's degree who has no research experience also. It just makes sense. You have the knowledge. You've worked with these patients in your career. It's very much similar to what you're going to be doing as a CRA, other than working with the patients, because as a monitor, you don't work with patients. You just review the data, the source data. So that's how you become a CRA. Now, if you don't have the experience, this is where all my other videos that I've done come in, how to break into the industry. You want to start at the site level. That's the best place to get started. I always say, Chris says, a lot of people I know, other monitors have said the same thing. The best CRAs were once study coordinators. So if you're looking to become a CRA, you should become a study coordinator first. Your goal should be 2 or 3 years to be a study coordinator and then work your way up to becoming a CRA. Oftentimes the monitors that monitor your site as a coordinator are great resources for you to level up to CRA. I know many CRAs that have hired coordinators from sites to become CRAs for the CRO that they're at. Now, that CRA is not the one hiring that person, but they're recommending them to their team lead, and the team lead then gives that coordinator an interview, and they like them, they know what they're doing, because when you're a coordinator, you know what you're doing. If you're a coordinator for 2 years, you know what you're doing. You can do a CRA job with a little bit of training sometimes even with no training. This is what I did. I started as a coordinator, and then now I'm a CRA. I'm a contract CRA, freelance CRA. So I had no training. I went from coordinator to like senior CRA as a contractor. That's possible to do as well. One of the things people always ask me is, do I need some kind of certification to be a CRA? The answer is no. The two things I just mentioned is what you need. You need a bachelor's degree at least, and you need some industry experience unless you're a registered nurse. Any certificates, okay, including my own CRA Academy, don't really mean very much. Now, here's why my CRA Academy is actually good. Remember the two things I said you need? The education and the experience? My CRA Academy gives you the experience. Everyone who graduates the 3-month course, which is online, gets to do remote monitoring, in-person monitoring with real studies that my CRO runs. So you're actually going to be doing monitoring work. You're going to have real study experience on your CV. We do your CV for you. You're going to be having experience on your CV. That makes it much easier. A lot of our students have gotten hired as CRAs, in-house CRAs, coordinators because of this, because of the experience from the CRA Academy. We also have a certificate. It does help in the extent that it shows the employer that you took out the time to, on your own, to study, to learn how to become a CRA. It does show that. There are 2 other certifications that are probably going to be helpful but not necessary, and that is the ACRP, Association of Clinical Research Professionals, and the CRA. Okay, they both offer certifications. The thing with both of those is you need at least 2 or 3 years of experience before you can get certified. So you need 2 or 3 years of experience before you can become a certified clinical research coordinator. You can't be a certified clinical research associate without being a CRA first. So if you're a coordinator and thinking that you can just get a certified clinical research associate accreditation from CRA or ACRP, they're probably not going to accept that. You need to get certified in the job that you have those experience in. So the unfortunate thing is CRA, ACRP, they are going to look good on paper, but you're not going to get the certified research associate until you have the experience as a research associate. So really what you need the education and you need the experience. My CRA Academy does offer you help on both of those, or you can go without my CRA Academy or any other academy that's out there, and you can go from the site level, work your way up. It's a little bit longer of a road, but it's something that people do every single day, every single year they do this. So that's how you become a clinical research associate. If you put in the time, whether it's in my internship for my CRA Academy, whether it's at the site level, whether it's as an in-house CRA, if you put in the time, like my CRA Academy, 6 months, 3 months of the course, 6 months of the internship, so it's 9 months. Some students go 12 months in my academy, although you can do it in as little as 3. You have the experience, you're going to have the knowledge, you know how to answer interview questions when they're asking you in a job interview, when they're considering to hire you to be a CRA. Same thing if you've been a coordinator. Okay, you're gonna understand what's a 1572. What do you do if a protocol deviation has occurred? What do you do if you're a CRA and you notice an undocumented adverse event? What do you do if you're a CRA and you notice a temperature excursion in the investigational product? What do you do? What do you do? What do you do? They're asking you these things all the time because they want to make sure that you at least have a working knowledge of clinical research. Okay, they're not asking you these things to see if you're going to be a good CRA. They're asking you these things to see if they need to train you extensively to do the job of a monitor, which they don't want to do. They'd rather hire somebody who already knows most of the material knows most of the scenarios and just needs a little bit of training relative to the company's policy or relative to just the fine-tuning, the nuances of being a CRA. But as far as like knowing nothing about what a 1572 is or what a regulatory document is, what a deviation is, they're not going to hire you. They don't want to train you from the ground up. This is where my CRA Academy comes in handy, because it's going to help you interview well too, and then you have the internship experience with real job, real study experience. You go on clinicaltrials.gov right now, search DSCS CRO, that's my CRO, and you'll see the 3 studies we have. Hopefully by the time you're watching this, there's more studies that we're adding as a CRO. So that's how you become a CRA, Clinical Research Associate. Good luck to everybody. Hopefully this helps. Take care.